We are going to learn about the template tags. If you learn in HTML, we have tags, but in Django, we have also another kind of tag. The template system ships with built-in tags. You know, in every programming languages, we have the control flow, and the control flow are related to the conditional, like if else, for loop, and yeah, some kind other control flow like if equal, if not equal, and etc. But yeah, I'm going to explain what are the tags in the Django. So those are three. Those three will be our lecture content for today. First, we are going to learn about if else. I think you know in any programming languages we have the if else, and the if followed by the curly bracket and the percent. It evaluates a variable, and if that variable is true, it exists, it's not empty, and if that a false boolean value. So the system will display everything between if and if. So if you are in Python, you will have if, and then you can have your statement, anything that you can do if the condition is true. But in Django, with the template, you need to define an if. So for every if, you need to put an if. There is another kind of control flow, we call it else. I guess you also know in Python, we have if else. In this template tag, we also have the else. Let's say, yeah, if, then we have else, and we have an if. So for example, this one, if today is weekend, and if the condition is true, then we will do P. P is the paragraph. So we are going to print the paragraph, welcome to weekend, in the HTML file. Let's say this one, if today is weekend, we are going to print welcome to the weekend. If it is not, then get back to work. Now let's see if we are going to put this if into the HTML file. As I mentioned to you previously, whenever we are making this Django environment, we need to consider three files. So in this week, we are going to practice with these three files: views.py, urls.py, and HTML. First, let's go to the views.py. Last time we already have one folder, and the folder name is post. We have the views.py, and let's put a function if else in this file. Okay, so I will make this code into the folder false, and then I have views.py. As you might know, you have one function which is index, and this function will be loaded whenever you call the link. Now I have another function which is if else. I took it from the PowerPoint. If the function is called, then we will run this section. We have a variable WARR, which is true. We have a variable var A, which is 8, and we have a variable var B, which is 5. And I would like to load one HTML file, which is hello underbar if. And I will pass this variable WARR into the warranty. I will pass the var A into the var A in the web, and I will pass the var B into the var B in the web. And I pass this into this HTTP response, and I'm going to render the temp. Temp is the HTML file, and I'm going to render this temporary file with the context or the variable. Now, if I look into this, I will explain this one later. Next, I need to define how the link works on the web. You have the urls.py in the polls, and I'm going to put one more link. So this path 2, I will put it on the urls.py. So I will put it here. Whenever I give the URL in the web browser with something 2 slash, then it will access this function if else. For the name, you can define any name. We will learn more about how we call this name maybe in some weeks later. After we have the URLs, we have the HTML file. Let's make a new file, hello underbar if.html in the folder templates, and then copy all code this. So we can copy all codes this. I will make a new file in the templates folder. In the templates folder, you can right click, and then you can make a new, and there's an option, HTML file. Okay. So one more time, you can go to the folder templates, and then you can click new, and then you can find HTML file. When you have this pop up, you can type what is the name of your HTML file. So let's say hello if. When I put the hello if, it will create a new HTML file like this. So you can just copy and paste. And let's check the result. Sorry. Hello? Any question? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's okay. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anytime. No problem. Okay. Now let's run. As you might know, you can run on the run button. If there is no issue, you can get this message. So you can just click on the link, and yeah, you can see the page not found error because we need to define the link. Now the link that we need to put here is polls, because we have the name polls, and when you have this polls, it will go to the hello world HTML file. We have the second file, which is 2 slash You can see here, I have 2 and then slash. In this case, I would like to put the link here along with 2 and slash. Okay, I put 2 and slash, and then if you press enter, you will see the result if and else. In the first line, you will see if or else true. If you take a look on the code, in this title, yeah, it is a hello world if else. It will show it into this web browser title, okay? Hello world if else. And next we have the if else, and we are going to print warranty. What is warranty? Here we have 2 curly bracket and yeah, 2 curly bracket, opening and closing. And we are going to call this variable warranty. This variable warranty is from the backend. Here is the warranty. When we call the warranty, the web browser will request to the backend, and I'm going to check where is the original of this variable. The original variable here is the WARR, and this is true. That's why we can see the result true here. We want to see the result of the variable warranty, which is true. And if you go to the next, your warranty information will be included in the packaging. So this kind of message, if it is true, then your warranty information will be included in the packaging. This is a paragraph. It will be printed on the web. And we need to give the and if. So every if, it should have an if. And I'm making a new line, break line. And again, if warranty, then I will print your warranty information will be included in the packaging. Else, print no warranty of your product. You can see your warranty will be included in the packaging because the condition is true. If variable A is greater than variable B, then let me print the variable A with the curly bracket. It means I want to show the content. I want to show the value of the variable A is greater than the value of variable B. Else if. So this comment is the same with the Python. We have the else if, and we can do another condition. If variable A is less than variable B, then I will print this statement. Variable B is greater than variable A. Else, of course, this is the last condition. We have the variable A equals to variable B. And do not forget to put an if. This is the template tag in Django. That's why now you can see 8 is greater than 5. Now let's suppose I change if I change WARR, not true, but now I change it to false. What happened? And if I change this variable A into 5, and I change the variable B into 8, okay? If you save this one, you can refresh the page. If you refresh the page, then you will see now it turns to false. It follows what the value in your backend. And you will see the result, no warranty of your product. Because there is no warranty. And yeah, it is still the same. 8 is greater than 5. Because the variable that you want to show here, yeah, the statements are the same. Yeah? The variable A is greater than variable B, the variable B is greater than variable A. Either the first condition is true or the second condition is true, yeah, the result is still the same, is greater than and is greater than. Maybe if you want to change like less than, variable A is less than B, like this one. Okay. So if I change this one, variable A is less than B. Variable A is less than variable B, then if I refresh this, now you can see that 5 is less than 8. So the result will go to the second condition. Okay. Let's explain the code. In this function, a variable WARR is initialized as true. And next, we have two additional variables, for A and for B. Again, we use getTemplate function to call the HTML file. We use this getTemplate to call the HTML file. And the context is declared, context1. It is the variable. And we need to send the warranty to HTML file with a value WARR. Oh, sorry, I missed. Not WAR, but WARR. And as you can see here, it is a dictionary. Because we have key and value. The key will be the variable on the web, and the value will be the variable on the backend. In the last row, we render the template with the defined context1. So the context1 here, we need to define it so the HTML file can understand what are those variables. Sorry, cannot see your. If you want to write a comment in HTML, that's the no, you can write the comment in HTML file. Of course, you need to understand what are the syntax for the comment. The last time we have this one. If you are using this comment, it means this is the comment based on Django. So the curly bracket with the sharp. Or you can have the comments that we learned in the HTML file. Okay. Yeah, the second one, I think you know how to create this URL. And the HTML file, you know how to define if else, and if else. Okay. It is based on the control flow in Python. but we need to define also the ending, which is an if. We have multiple conditions. In the multiple condition, we have the operators similar to any computer programming languages, which is and, not, or. So I will teach you only these three. The tag if accepts and, or, not for testing multiple variables or to negate a given variable. So if like this one, if the variable a is higher than 5 and variable b is less than 8, then I will make a paragraph. Yes, variable a is greater than 5 and the variable b is less than 8. And I give you the break line. So it will go to the break. I will give one line. If it is not the case, then the result is false. So you can update the code at the helloif.html. So I'm copying this text and then I put into the, I will put below part of this code. But yeah, the problem is whenever you copy and paste from the PowerPoint, there might be some kind of errors like this. So the text, sometimes it is not working well. So you need to adjust something. Now I would like to use the AND function here, AND operator, so I can see whether the two condition is true. I guess you still remember whenever we do this kind of operator, in the AND operator, if we have P and we have Q, P and Q, and P or Q. So if the condition of P is true and the condition of Q is true and true, then it is true. True or true, then condition is true. If one is false, then the result will be false for the AND operator and true for the OR operator. If one is false, then this one is false and this one is still true. But if both of them are false, then the condition will be false for AND operator and false for the OR operator. Yeah, we understand this one with the logical mathematicals, and it works with the operator AND here. You can change if you maybe first you can check. Yeah, the result is false. If you want to check this one is OR, the result is still false because par A. What is par A? Par A is 5. Okay. So let me just check it into what is it? Par A should be greater than 5. Okay, let me change to 9. Okay. If the var A is 9, then okay, 9 is greater than 8. Okay. Yes, 9 is greater than 5 and 8 is less than 8. Maybe the wording is not correct. But yeah, in this case, because we are considering only one factor is true. Because 9 is greater than 5 is true, of course the other condition will be true as well. even though this is not true. Okay. If it is about not, it is the negation. It is the negation. If you have one variable which is the opposite of the current variable, then you can use not. If tags do not allow and or clauses within the same tag, because the order of logic will be ambiguous. So if you combine and or at the same statement, so it will not work. It does not allow. Okay. So if you have multiple conditions, then you need to consider the nested. Okay. We call it the nested if. If you need to combine and or to do the advanced logic, just use nested if. For example, maybe the last example, this one. If the person is in the athlete list and in the coach list or in the cheerleader list, so it is ambiguous. Okay? We cannot, even though we as a human, we cannot understand this clearly about the condition. But if we are looking at this one, if someone is in the athlete list, and then we go next. If someone in the coach list or someone in the cheerleaders list, we can print this one. We have athletes and either coaches or cheerleaders. Okay. That's the logic in the template tag. In Django, we can also do with the for loop. The for loop in Django, we use this curly bracket %for. It allows us to loop over each item in the sequence. As in Python's for statement, the syntax for x in y, where y is the sequence to loop over and x is the name of the variable to use for a particular cycle of the loop. So we can also do the same. Okay. And each time through the loop, the template system will render everything between for and for. So we need to define for and for. The same like the if, we need to have if and if. So for example, you could use the following display to list of athletes given in the variable athlete list. Let's say I have UL. Do you still remember what is UL? Unordered list. Okay, U means unordered. You will make an unordered list and then you want to list up all the athletes' name. So I will have the list and the list will be from the variable athlete. And I would like to take the name of the athlete. And this will be from the athlete list. So let's make this kind of things. First, I would like to make the views.py. And the views.py is in the folder polls. And yeah, I will explain later after we finish this one. First, let's make a new line in the views.py. in the views.py. I will go to the next line. And I'm going to put some variables here. The first variable is weekday. I want to have the data on the day of every week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for this one, I want to assume that we have the Monday index 0, Tuesday index 1, and so on. And I would like to check what is today. So based on the function date time, I would like to check what is today. So let's suppose today is Monday, then we have the weekday. In this case, if we set as 0, I follow the order of the weekday in Python. So the weekday, if it is Monday, then it equals to 0. And then I would like to load later the hello for.html. And I'm going to put the variable today into the variable today in the HTML. And I have the variable weekday here. I want to put into the variable weekday in the HTML. Next, I would like to add the urls.py. So I'm making the urls.py and add one more line. So if I call the 3/, then it will go to the for loop. Here is the function that we are going to call. Before we want to call the if else, now we are going to use the for loop. So you can press the control. Okay? If you in the keyboard, you have the control and press go to your mouse. You can see that now you can access the function. If you click, then you will go directly to the function that you are referring to. So if you want to go to if else, you can press control and then click to the function, and it goes to the function if else. So before this function, I put one import, which is date time. In Python, there's a function date time. So I'm just reusing the function inside this library. And then I would like to make a new HTML file. Let's create hello underbar for.html. So you can have a new file in the templates. You can create a new HTML file, hello underbar for. And then you can remove all the HTML file code here and then use the code that I shared on the PowerPoint. So if you execute it on the web, you need to call tree. You need to access the tree / and if you press enter, you will see this result. Now you can see the first is about for loop. You have for loop here, and you have one variable. What is the variable? Today. Okay. What does it mean by today? If you are in the HTML file, so the HTML file is the front end or something that the user will see the result. But when we have this curly bracket, means we are going to access the data on the back end. So the back end is the views. Now you can see the views.py. We have today is related with the weekday. So the Python will have 0 to indicate Monday, Tuesday as 1, Wednesday as 2, Thursday 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because today is Monday, that's why it is 0. Now, I would like to check, let's say, let me close this one with shop. And I will open this one. Let's say I'm going to check 2022, March 28th. Oh, 28th is today. Let's say 27th. Okay. What is the result when you have this one? You will see the date. Okay. So it depends on the function. Yeah, you can define the function by the definition of this date time. Let's say I want to know the weekday of this date. Then it will show you 6. 6 means Sunday. Yeah, this is the function that exists in the date time. Next is I have the for loop, and let's suppose this is a string. Yeah, you can define a string, or you can define a variable or a data here, and then you can do the for loop. Here, I have the for loop dot counter 0. What does it mean? So I'm giving you this example. For loop dot counter, the current iteration of the loop. So it is start from the 1 index. Whenever you are doing the loop, yeah, if you have the data with like this, you will always start the loop from 0. But in this Django, they define counter and counter 0. If you're using counter 0, then it will start from 0. If you're using the counter, it will start from 1. Now I'm looking at the counter 0. It starts from 0. So if I have this kind of list, it will start from 0. The 0 is 0 itself. 1 is 1. The index 2 is 2. The index 3 is 3, and so on. So you can see the result is starting from index 0. And the index 0 is 0. If I change this one for loop dot counter without 0, then it starts from 1. it is different when you have the counter equals to 0 or when you have the counter equal to 1. And you will see, let's say I have this element. So maybe the element is too long. And if I want to do the loop and I want to use the counter, so it means the index will start from 1. Yeah, this is the index 1, and then I know there are 26 characters. Every 4 will be ended by N4. Every 4 will be ended by N4. Now we have another counter, we call it ref counter. And we have ref counter 0. By the definition, ref means reverse. So the number of iteration from the end of the loop, and we are reaching 1 index. If it is ref counter 0, it means reverse, and it will end with 0. So here it will be ended with 1, and the other is ending with 0. So this is ended with 1, this is ended with 0. We have another kind of loop, first and last. First, what is first? It is true if this is the first time through the loop. And last is true if this is the last time through the loop. So you can take a look, this one. Is this the first? Yes. Then it is true. And the remaining will be false. Okay, so I would like to check which item is the first. And the second one, everything is false, but the last one is true. So I would like to know where is the ending. So this we call as the spatial for loop in Django. And yeah, we have the parent loop. So for nested loop, this is the loop above the current one. I think I don't have this one. Oh yeah, I have this one. This parent loop. Oh, before this parent loop, I would like to mention this one. Let's say I have weekday. So the weekday is a variable of the day, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. And I would like to print the element I. So the paragraph will print every of the element. Now, you will see that the result is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is the weekday. Now for the nested loop, we can have the parent loop counter. Okay, what does it mean by this parent loop counter? For the nested loop, this is the loop above the current one. If you are using the Python and you have two for loop or nested loop, you can define the index, whether it is starting from 0 until 5, starting from 0 until 5. Okay. But in Django, they want you to define the parent loop. If you see this one, Monday 1, Monday 1, Monday 1, Monday 1. So we are defining Monday, it is based on the first loop. And we are defining the counter loop from the j, variable j, because we have x, we have 4 characters. So it means we have 4 elements. And for every element, it will be in the variable j. Here, I just want to print I, and then I want to count. So the counter will be based on this variable. That's why we have 1, 1, 1, 1. If we do not use the parent loop counter, let me open the block. So this is the comment, okay, in HTML. So I do not want to use the parent loop. I just want to use the counter. As you can see here, now it is Monday 1, Monday 1, Monday 1, Monday 1. If I press this one, then now the counter, it follows the common counter in a for loop, which is from 1, 2, 3, and 4. As you know, counter is a for loop starting with index 1. If you want to start with the index 0, then you need to put the counter 0. So you can put the counter 0 here. And because we have 4 elements, so it starts with 0, 1, and 2, and 3. And we are going to print for every of the element on the weekday: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. Oh, this is the time.